on, you know, have you guys decided how our ordinance says 5 dogs? Okay. So how many are, we need to clarify that, and then anything that we want to put in about, you know, reminding people that it's going to be out at such and such a time, and it's got to be.
Okay, we will open this meeting of Selectmen's meeting May 9th, 2013. Let the record show that all selectmen are present. At this time, I would like to make a motion to enter into non-public per RSA 91A:3. We have 4, so I'm going to name all 4, and then we don't have to come back out. C, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely adversely affect the reputation of any person. And B, personnel. A, personnel. And E, legal.
Second?
Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And we're ready.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public as they pertain to personnel permanently, and as they pertain to legal until the matter is resolved.
Second.
There was the thing...
Until the matter is
first thing-
resolved.
Okay, all right.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Joyce, you're up.
Well, she's coming over here. Can I ask a question? In the interest of making this shorter. This Hoggarts and Peddlers license, having paid the required fee, is hereby licensed to
That's
what?
the snow cone.
I understand
that we're
that,
waiving
but
the
the
fee.
license doesn't say what it's for.
Well, it says the fee's waived.
But it's still the Hawker's Peddler license, and it doesn't have anything in these licenses to do.
What he's doing.
This is a blank check.
What's the application say?
The other thing says the snarky dogs or whatever, but
Jockey
it doesn't
dog
say
snow
that
cone,
on
right.
here.
It should say what it's for.
I know,
I
that's
didn't
what
even
I'm
read it,
pointing
yeah.
out.
Well, I was saying it to Catherine. On the license itself,
The TLC.
Yeah,
the snow cone people,
this is a blank check to do anything.
That's all right.
like, can do anything,
I know what the accompanying
you know. He can do anything on his property.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
down there, I would be glad to sign it.
Catherine, oh, this isn't working anymore.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is
It's
working?
just, yeah, it's,
The speaker's not on.
You just don't know it is, but it
Oh.
is.
Okay.
No, really?
All right, Catherine, can you hear me?
Yeah, just a little.
I'll give you this when I'm done, okay? What I'm saying for your minutes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, the littering complaint that we received from a resident in Lockmere. Dennis went down, he drove Silver Lake Road, River Road, Church Street, and then along 3 and 11. He said he did not see enough litter to justify contacting the Department of Corrections for a work crew. He did see some cans were along Silver Lake Road, but it was from where the daycare starts down to the railroad tracks. He said other than that, it was like a little piece of paper here, or a can here, or a can there.
He didn't look in the wetland area right across the street from my house, which is a garbage dump.
I just walked that route and there's a bunch of garbage on that route.
Yeah,
I walked the whole loop.
I have wetlands there, and it is full of trash.
I walked that whole loop.
But that's not the town's responsibility, those are private pieces of
Well, that's what
property.
I was saying. It's in the town of Tilton, but it's on private property.
Right.
Okay, he did contact Mark Morrill to find out how they schedule litter cleanup, because I did notice myself quite a bit along 3 and 11.
Yeah.
And Bill Rollins called him back, and he says usually they have different businesses or individuals that, I hate to use the word adopt, sponsor cleanup. He said, unfortunately, there's nothing on this part of Route 3 and 11. So what they do is if they receive a lot of complaints, then they'll put it on a schedule, and then when their crews, the foreman, when his crews have a free moment, they'll send them out to pick it up.
I wonder why they don't use Department of Corrections.
I don't know.
County or state?
I don't know. The other thing Dennis had said, that if there are any people in that Lockmere area, if they want to participate in the New Hampshire the Beautiful with the litter bags, Dennis said that we can order the bags and people can come pick them up, and when they pick their day to do it, Dennis will be more than happy to go down and pick all the bags up.
Okay, I clean up Route 3 on both sides from my boundary to boundary, but I just put it in garbage bags.
Right.
So if I got these special bags,
Well, it has to be part of an organized effort.
I've got some of those bags right now, Catherine. If you want some of those bags, you let me know.
well, I'm just thinking I'm not going to spend $1.50 a bag to clean up the side of the highway.
I have some of
right.
those bags
I
right
see
You know what
now.
I'm saying? I mean, I would,
Okay.
but I'm just saying.
All right, well, let me get the information on that. Because you have
I
to
mean-
sign a pledge, and they want to sign a pledge, and
I have
all
a
the
gang that helps me,
volunteers,
but-
and how to organize a community
That's
litter
right now,
You're
cleanup,
all under
You don't have
21.
to pledge nothing to me.
how to get your free blue bags.
Just give me the information, I'll look at it. Is there a website?
Oh, yeah, it's right on the DOT website. Well, here, I can just give you all this, and I can print out.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
How to sponsor highway, little brochure. So, I don't know, maybe we can put something on our website if people are interested in wanting to sponsor.
That would be a good thing to put on the website, how to sponsor.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Recycling
George.
I'm just-
committee
I'm
just
just
sponsored that a couple
keeping
times.
the
and got
woman's
no-
number, I'm gonna call her and let her know what we did.
You don't
Not
want
going
to?
to.
Okay.
And, okay.
If she has any other problems, tell her to call me. As health
do that
officer,
again.
and because if this ordinance passes,
Yep.
then we can do something.
Okay, and then, I don't know if you noticed today, but Dennis did go out and, he normally sweeps Silver Lake Road sidewalk and whatever, but he did go out, had the guys go out today and do Route 3. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was good. I didn't know there was a sidewalk there. I just thought it was the dirt.
I walk it every morning at 6, except for this morning.
Okay. Okay, and just a little bit on pay-as-you-throw and recycling. Best Way, through Dennis, had requested a list of all the households where they will be delivering containers to. So I was able to prepare this spreadsheet. I haven't sent it to Jerry Tweedy is the person that runs Best Way there. And I said, what I still have to do is I have to pull out, I have a list of all the businesses that have licensed haulers, so I want to delete their names. I'll keep it separate, but I'm not giving that list to him. So that hasn't come out yet. So as soon as that's done,
So how are we going to differentiate who wants what size container? Give them all the same size container and then let them ask later?
The plan that Dennis and I have come up with is that one of us is going to go when they're delivered. As soon as we have a date, and it's part of my thing, but to segue into that, the bins are almost ready to be shipped from where they're doing them. Once they get them, then they have to assemble them. And they'll set a date they'll be delivered starting on this day. At that point, I'm going to print up a flyer, and I'll go from house to house and hang the flyer on, let's pick a day, June 10th. The town will come around with the bins. There are 3 sizes. I'll have pictures of the bins. And you'll be able to get one of the 3 bin sizes.
They're gambling that people will be home on that day.
And well, I'm going to hang the thing on their door so that they'll know. I will also have my phone number on there, and I will have that list in my possession. If you call me and you say I'm at, whatever your address is, Catherine, and I want a 96-gallon bin, I will write right beside your address, 96 gallons. And I'll know that way. If I have no response whatsoever, and they're not there on the day that I intend to come and get it, I will hang another little notice that says, we came by, your bin's at the town transfer station. Please call to make arrangements to pick it up.
Why don't we put something on the website
Well, that
People are
too.
anticipating this, if we put it on there now and ask people to call in if they have a preference, and we can tell them the sizes on the website,
Show them pictures.
and then they could call in with their preference
Right.
now. At
Well,
least
local
we've done
family needs more
something.
than
I mean,
one bin.
that's,
One bin per household.
whoever, whenever we get started,
That's
August
what
1st,
the
July
program
1st,
is
whatever.
predicated on, and they can put out
least we've been
satellite
proactive
bins,
with
you know,
that.
you know what I
My
mean?
suggestion.
I think it's a good idea. That way you can get to a lot of the addresses. Just in the notes, we can say we need your address and the size you want.
Yeah.
You can return an email to this, or you can call in, you know, if you give them a couple of choices. That way, if they've got a computer, I mean, and they can email, then they can just email it in.
All right, it's my understanding that Best Way is going to be doing the mailing. What I want
Mailing for what?
to all the information that's going out to people,
The pay-as-you-throw aspect of it,
the
right?
pay-as-you-throw aspect of it. Okay. So he's not doing anything about the mailing out the recycling.
That was never part of our conversation. If they intend to do that, hallelujah.
Regardless of who's doing any mailing, I'd like to have it on the website.
Yes, well, as soon as we have a date,
We
it'll
don't
be
need
on
to have a
the...
date.
I want to make sure
It's
that,
coming.
We don't need
It
to
already
have a
says
date.
it's coming,
I
Catherine.
want to make sure that we approve of what's going on the website and what's going out in a letter.
Yes.
I don't care who's doing the mailing.
Exactly.
It's up to the Board of Selectmen
Right.
to make sure what is on that piece of paper and what's on their website.
Right,
There's too many hands in this right now.
right.
It's only supposed to be the Board of Selectmen making decisions.
Well, when I spoke to Jerry, when he called, I said that for me, the main point of contact to be able to communicate with the selectmen and the committee is Joe. So I'm
Joe
saying,
doesn't make the decisions.
I
It still
know.
has to
That's what
come
she
back to
said.
the Board of the Selectmen.
Contact.
he is the contact.
I
yes,
understand
know.
I understood what you said.
Okay.
But I want you to understand also that, because there's movement going, and we're going forward, and I really want this to be done and done correctly, so that, you know, there's not a lot of angry people out there. Well, this wasn't said. Well, it was said. But this one said this, and this one said something different. It all goes through one funnel.
Right. Well, the key right now is we're holding the addresses, so that's why I'm giving it to the board
You
and
know,
saying,
you've got a lot of problems with this list of addresses, and I'm just looking at my name in particular.
the land values are in there. The way it's sorted is it's sorted by street.
I know.
And they will know not to, it was just going to be too time-consuming for me to go through and delete the land ones. I can do that.
If they delete the two land ones, where are they going to put Catherine Dawson's trash bin? Because guess what? Where I live is not Catherine Dawson.
I know, we're going by street address. Go by
Well, that's what
street
I'm
address.
saying.
It-
So they're going to, Best
under
Way is
Dodge.
going to now, yeah, it's Dodge.
It's in under
The
there.
trust.
Okay, and I also have, it goes by
It's right
street
there.
address.
James W. Dodge Trust.
And I show-
sure hope they don't leave one for the other James W. Dodge Trust, because I'm not pulling a trash bin way the hell out in those woods.
No,
So that's what I'm
let me
saying.
explain the
is,
spreadsheet.
You know, I'm looking at the spreadsheet. 416
I
Laconia
also
Road
put the
has
code on
two-
there saying what is physically at that address. Okay, if the line's blank, it means there's just vacant land.
So they have to go to model?
Yeah, in the model column, it'll explain what's there. Is it a four-family house? Is it just a barn? Is it a cape? Because that way you can match up an address with what's on the thing. But the important thing I wanted to do is before any mailing address goes out to Jerry, that the board needs to see what he's mailing out, and you need to approve what's mailing out.
Absolutely.
And where I need further clarification is what he's mailing out. Is it just pay-as-you-throw? Is it just recycling? Is it both? Is it also, because what my suggestion would be to include in whatever's being mailed to these people, to remind them of what our ordinance says. You know, when it's supposed to go out.
Very good.
I agree with that one.
One question came up now, because we're having two sizes of bags. If you read our ordinance now, it says 5 bags, period. So does that mean, say someone has little bags, does that mean 5 little bags? Or what if they have some little bags and big bags?
Yeah,
Is it
our
still 5 bags?
current trash ordinance has does nothing to do with pay-as-you-throw.
Right.
It's going to have to be amended, but it won't be amended until
Right.
town meeting.
Well,
We
it will,
can't amend
it will work now in terms of
Yeah.
limit of 5 bags, and we can figure out.
Is that
Selectmen will
something that
have-
we have to make a decision
No,
on tonight?
No,
No.
the selectmen will have to
No,
interpret
I just want to
it.
know if we can include that information in whatever mailing that goes out to people.
Yes, Al?
Yes, Al?
Well, I think that if do we need to make a decision? You've kind of got the consensus of the board that we would like to know what's going out before it goes out. That's the
Right.
consensus, correct?
But let's
Okay.
get something written for the website ASAP,
Right.
because like I'm saying, I'm just looking at my holdings on there.
And we can review that next week?
Yep. Now,
Is that time enough for us to review it?
Yep. And then the other thing, which I was going to tell Joe, because there are all these questions and things coming up, and it takes time to review things and mailings, he wanted to know if we could have the start date be July 1,
The start date will hinge upon when we're ready.
Yeah.
when you're ready, okay?
You know, I want to get it going, but it depends on when we're ready.
Well, both things have to, the bags have to be ready, and the bins have to be ready, and people have to know what they're supposed to do with them.
We'll get the bins out there when the bins are ready to be distributed, and that gives them the opportunity to use the bins.
Yeah, I mean, if we're ready,
Pay-as-you-throw happens when pay-as-you-throw happens.
and if we're ready the third week of June, or the
Let it
third
rock.
week of whatever, or the second
So you're
week,
not going to do them both at the same
No,
time?
no. That's going to be impossible.
Even just if you gave yourself another few weeks, you couldn't do it?
I'd still rather, when the bins are ready, I'd rather get them distributed so people can work with these
Yeah,
bins.
okay.
And then the pay-as-you-throw aspect is definitely beyond that date.
But aren't you
So-
going to confuse people, though, on that, in that respect? Because now they're going to say, well, they picked up my recycling, but they didn't pick up the other stuff, and I
We
mean...
will pick up the other stuff.
But
they'll pick up.
I don't have the
curbside.
bags, and I don't, it's going to be confusing to them if you don't start everything at the same time.
Most communities that do this put a moratorium on the pay-as-you-throw aspect. Most of them give a 2 or 3 week or,
That was the recommendation
Moratorium.
from Best Way as
I get
well.
that.
Even
Okay.
after the program starts.
All right,
yeah.
okay.
When the mailing goes out, that information should be a key part of that. Once you get the bins, you can practice with the bins, you can get where you're going to put the bin, how you're going to do this, this is what's recyclable,
This is
and
every
they'll
other
pick that
week,
bin up.
Recycling.
I know.
Pay-as-you-throw will be instituted at a later date. and-
I'm thinking of the elderly people that don't understand the program to begin with.
Yeah.
And then we have people that are putting trash out in the recycling, and it's not being picked up, and now they're confused because it's not picked up because it hasn't started yet. And I just don't want that I realize some of it, to
They'll
some limit.
pick up-
It will happen.
They'll pick up all of the regular garbage while they're picking up the recycling. And even after we start pay-as-you-throw, whatever we decide for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 deliveries, whatever it is,
Yep.
they'll pick up everything but, say, 1 bag, and it'll be tagged, you have to use
So
the...
we'll have to just do another mailing to people saying on such and such a date, you better have, what color are the bags? Purple?
Purple.
You better have your purple bags.
Yeah,
All right.
will be
Now, I
picked
have
up.
a question.
I understand.
In order to us to move forward, do you want some special time next week to just discuss the pay-as-you-throw, or would you like another meeting just for recycling pay-as-you-throw? Because it's coming closer and we need some decisions being made, and we haven't really quite made all the decisions that we need to make. How does the board want to go forward with that?
Well, I had some stuff here I was going to discuss tonight, but time-wise, that I'm thinking that we're going to be too pushed. We need to make some decisions so that we can start getting the dates and putting them on the website.
How soon do the decisions need to be made, Joe? We need a special meeting next week, or do you need is it okay for Thursday?
The quicker we do it, the better it is, but we can do it whenever we do it. There's no set stuff, we have to have this in place by this date. But the longer we delay it, I am finding that people are antsier and antsier, and when, and just so we could have a date. There's certain things that we have to decide before we have a date.
Right.
Once we decide those things, we can announce the date, get the mailings in the mail, and go forward.
I think this is going to take a heavier load during a selectmen's meeting. I think it deserves its own time. That's my thought.
Or afternoon.
Let's come early next Thursday with a plan toward making some choices.
Yeah, but if we do this, let's not have any spectators. Where did she come from?
She who,
The woman that was here that wasn't supposed to be here.
Right.
I thought she was
Waste
on
zero or
the...
something.
Couldn't believe.
I
Oh,
know.
no, that woman's not going to be here.
Wait, we're
No,
on, we're on camera.
She was here about her tax
Do
issue.
you want to do
person.
Monday or Wednesday? Oh,
I
that is
won't-
a tax deeding.
Yeah, but
That's tax deeding, and they have a right to ask for a selectman's time.
she's going to come next week.
So who's going to be writing
asked
the
him plenty
letter?
of time.
Jerry?
I'm not
or the
really going to be
committee?
available until
We'll write the letter. I'll have a sample. We can change
Work
it.
on a letter.
We can change it on the spot and print it, send it, or send it to Jerry.
Want to come in a little early on Thursday?
I can work that out, sure. 3, 2, whatever you think. So far, I
How much
would,
time do you think we're gonna give to this next week?
Uh,
Let's go
Probably
that
an
way.
hour, I would say.
Let's come in at
Okay.
3.
I would say probably a good hour,
Three.
solid
so if we
hour,
come
right?
in at 3, I'm thinking, yeah,
All
All right, well, I learned a lot, that right now, we want to get the toters out. We want to get the recycling
the bin's out, yeah.
bins out. Okay.
Let's have something to get on the website as soon as possible, because we could also put a helpline information there.
So the result of what we do next week then will produce something we can put on the website.
It will. We'll have some kind of dates that we can actually, it's coming this
Even
day.
if we don't have a date, just to notify people, about the bins, to call up, blah, blah, blah.
So next week,
questions?
we'll come in at 3 o'clock, we'll talk about, do you want to bring up Marjorie's request to look at the price of the bags again? Is that going to happen? Do you want to do that?
I would like to have one last discussion
Not
about
in
it.
favor of it, but...
Whatever happens, happens, but I would like to have another discussion.
All right, so we'll talk about bags, we'll talk about prices, we'll talk about
Something for the website.
website, we'll talk about...
Letter.
right.
And, all right? That's all going to be on the
Sounds good.
agenda from 3 to 4. And that's the only thing we'll talk about on 3 to 4. That's it.
We're running out
Yep.
of time.
Okay, I'm going quickly here. I spoke to Joe earlier. I had an opportunity to speak with Scott Dunn. Now, he is the chairman of the Cable TV Consortium. I said, I just wanted to clarify that, with the cable service, that, what can go under our franchise agreement. And he said adamantly, anything that has a government label attached to it qualifies for receiving this service under our Town of Tilton franchise agreement. So I went through the list with him, and so we put on the high school, the middle school, the Church Street station of the fire department, the offices of the water district company.
What?
Yeah, because they're government, they're a government entity.
State of New Hampshire?
When
You're
you're,
a private, how did
well,
they...
I'm sorry, the water district, the water district.
City of Franklin can go on it?
Oh, not ours, no, just
Then
these
why would the water
buildings.
district? It's a separate municipal entity.
He's saying that anything that is a government label, it is a village district. The water district is a village district.
Separate municipal entity from the town of Tilton, just like the city of Franklin.
Correct.
They're all-
Not
Same
my
same as the
understanding.
school.
Wait.
Same as the schools.
So
Those are separate.
Lockmere Water Village can
Yeah,
have
that's
their own
good. We
drop?
can put them on. We can put
Wow.
Lockmere, if they want one, yep, put them
That
in.
was not my understanding. I sat right through those meetings, every one. I didn't
explained
talk
it
to
to him. I
Scott.
said their municipal boundaries of the fire district is the municipal boundaries of the two towns. He said, yep, and he looked, he said, Northfield's got the Park Street Station. I said, now the water district's a little different because the boundaries of their entity are just lots between the two towns. He says, yep,
This is for the INET.
not INET,
What is it for then?
not INET. This is for a cable drop and high-speed internet.
Nice.
The only ones
News to me, but
The only
okey-dokey,
ones that are
Scott
INET
knows.
are the town buildings. We have 4 town buildings. We have Town Hall, Police Station, Public Works, and Senior Center.
And what'd you say about them?
It's iNet service, so that we can communicate amongst, it's special fiber that connects our buildings. No, they're not, but what they're eligible for is a high-speed internet service. Oh, I even put on the Route 132 ball field, just in case you get something there.
As a drop.
As a
for
drop.
cable service,
Did you
not,
put Riverfront?
Riverfront's there.
River drop, yeah.
So add Lockmere.
River drop.
Island.
Oh, the island.
and the high-speed internet, we still have to pay for the internet. They're just going to make the drop available.
Right.
Yeah, it's a drop, and then for cable drops, do you want Lockmere Village? Why would they need a cable drop?
Can't see where they would,
If
but
they have one, let's put them on there. I mean, if they're able to, put them on there.
You got the aqueduct on there.
Well, let's not be,
I've been in touch with Pam
Pennachuck is a
Miller.
private water company.
Pennachuck's private, it's not a
Private,
village
okay.
district. And they just sold out to, or they're in the process. No, they did sell.
They sell the Pennachuck.
Yeah, Pennachuck sold.
And I talked with Pam Miller, who's the new assistant superintendent for SAU 59 or whatever, and they're still coming up with their plan, but they definitely want one, and we're going to list the high school address.
I think it should go to all municipal selectmen.
Wouldn't that be no, we're not actually government entities.
Not thank
And
you.
Northfield has the Hall Memorial Library.
Can you see it ripped out if you don't get the
They've
election?
listed home, very good.
I've already got one that's dead. I don't use MetroCast.
And are they going to give their school one to the school too?
Yeah, and one for Southwick, and for both internet and cable drop.
Nice.
They have them now, I think.
I believe they do, but we list them and they can go forth accordingly.
So
This is for them
can
to,
you update the school on that? And because they're going to, oh, no, because it's not it's the difference between the access point.
yeah, well, I talked with the SAU's assistant superintendent, who has said yes, that they are. She was here, Pam Miller.
Dr. Miller.
And they didn't know exactly where they wanted it in the building, but they wanted to definitely be a part of it, so we'll list the high school address. This is merely a function of MetroCast being able to budget accordingly. So if we put everybody on there, maybe the Lockmere Village District people don't want one, but that just means they budget too much, and okay, they save some money.
Okay, Gaslight Village Cooperative. They have been working with the Community Loan Fund and getting technical assistance to help them install infrastructure. Right now, they're looking at sewer, and they've been talking with Joanna, and they also need to make some water line improvements. The person that's working with them is Jeannie Wright, and she wants to know if they could be allowed some time to come in and meet the board. You can meet their new board and see about the possibility of, they're putting together the financing, and they would like the town to do a CDBG grant for them, similar to the way we did with White Rock.
We should talk to them.
So, a week
I think-
out, 2
I
weeks
think-
out?
August 31st, somewhere in that. You get all the, just saying. No, couple
of
weeks
Thurs-
out.
Couple of weeks out.
Turn the sign around so people know they can come up.
The
At least if-
31st is a Saturday, so that's out.
One of the...
But the 29th is a Thursday.
Hey, look who's here!
Oh, my goodness!
Wow!
Here come the press, here come the
Still
press.
exists.
I think so.
I remember, what was the purpose of the, we had a meeting downstairs and people from Gaslight Village were there. I think it was a sewer hearing on the Lockmere betterment.
Right.
And,
Yes.
and we had offered to them at that time that when they were ready, we would be happy to
Right.
work with them.
Yep.
Okay. All right, good, they'll be pleased. Okay, I'm
So,
saving this
couple
one for
weeks.
last. I'm saving that one for, okay, this is an easy one. Back in, oh God, when was it? Last August, the board got a letter from the Department of Transportation. They're going to be rehabilitating the you know, the bridges that go over I-93 over the Winnipesaukee River, not the one that goes 311, but over. They're doing rehab on that. We had to respond to them saying, yeah, go ahead. So now they're doing their public meeting to present what they're going to do. And they would like to know if they could do it on June 6th, which is the night of a selectmen's meeting. And it would be 6:30, people could come in and review plans, and then they would do a quick formal presentation to begin at 7, because they have to advertise this in the newspapers. And they said that they would anticipate that 40 people, have enough room for 40 people, but I don't think we'll get it.
No, I don't either.
Well,
June 6th, did you say?
do they
You have enough
have to
room
do
for
a
everybody who'll
selectmen's meeting?
show up.
Couldn't they have their own meeting downstairs?
They can. They can. They could do it maybe Monday or Tuesday of that week. I checked the calendar, and there isn't anything else scheduled on Monday or Tuesday. But just in the spirit of, you know, two governments working together and goodwill and get people out.
Saying the time.
We did this last time with the 140 bridge.
Yeah, but that at least pertained to us. I mean, that, you know, we had some concerns there, traffic. I guess we don't need to worry
If
about
you
traffic
walked
on 93.
underneath that highway bridge, big
Can
chunks
we
of it
have
are
our,
falling out.
can we have our meeting on
State
the,
problem, not a town problem. Not a town
If
liability
it
either.
crashes
I would
onto
give
the
them
ground
a
on top of somebody walking that trail, it'll be the town's
The actual
problem.
presentation would be
Oh,
at
no.
7. Give them a half hour.
It'll be my problem. I'd
6:30
rather,
to about 7:30
cooperate.
is what you're saying? We figured.
No, no, well, they would open it at 6:30 if people want to come in and look at things, but they would make a formal presentation at 7.
How long is their formal presentation going to take?
Hour.
Half an hour?
We're talking a bridge over a river,
I know. Okay, it'll be interesting, fine.
but that's up to the chair.
I'm fine. Anybody else? What do you think?
That's June 6th, right?
Al doesn't care.
Bring it.
Joe says do it.
I think we should come in that earlier and get our work done, because we know after that, we're not going to get our work done
Works for me.
Yep.
that
So we're
day.
gonna go June 6th.
And make their hearing the last on
Right.
the agenda.
June
Right.
6th.
I just changed the
2 o'clock.
selectmen's
That's a
meeting
good
till
idea.
3 o'clock in my phone.
That's the way it's going.
I know.
So you want to give me a 3 or 2?
So we're going to be at 3 o'clock for the 6th
The
then.
6th, yeah, June 6th.
Hold on, now.
Well, let's not give it a cutoff time. Let's just
6:30.
see what we have to deal with, because
Right.
summers can be
2 o'clock
frightening.
time.
2 o'clock?
6:30 to 7:30.
4
we'll
o'clock. This
figure
didn't work
it out.
today. I can tell you it's not working. 2 o'clock.
Okay.
I only have 2 more things.
Pink?
2 o'clock. It's the best way to run it, because
Okay.
we run out of time every time.
Gosh,
Just
Works for
couple
me.
more
Cover my
things.
paperclip.
officer of the law.
Just a couple more things. I meant to bring this up earlier. I got a letter from Gary that he's asking that, I have to put this on letterhead, and it would be signed by the selectmen, to be sent out to all of the utilities that use the right-of-way, requesting information on their poles and conduits and whatever. And with your permission, I'll put that, he'd like this to go out as soon as possible. And then I called and asked, I said, well, what about the cable company, just what, in case, because they do put stuff on poles.
No.
And he said to go ahead, and if we had that information, because I told him we had this map, I found our map. And he said, sure, go ahead and send it to him. Because the town of Barnstead does tax the cable company.
And why aren't we?
Well, we should see if they own any poles.
Yeah, I don't know that they do. Well, maybe they do, I don't know.
What company?
Metrocast.
They don't.
They don't own any poles? Okay.
The Huggen Barnes.
Well, we want to treat all the utilities the same, so we'll send them the same letter.
It's weird.
They only own the
Makes
ones
sense.
if they have to go into the property.
But those would be private.
Right, they're private, right, and that would be our
How does
taxable.
Barnstead tax cable poles?
They do.
That's really weird.
So on the list is Algonquin Power, Fairpoint, Public Service, and Metrocast.
Algonquin owns the poles that go through the park.
They do?
Yeah. It's their right of way.
Okay. I just want to remind you that Monday at May 20th at 11 o'clock, you're meeting with Bestway and Casella.
I may not be here. Oh, no, I will be here. That's the 20th.
Right.
I looked at the 13th.
You recall how we have the contract with the Winnipesaukee River Basin Project for transcription services, where we pay one of our employees. They do the transcription service for the advisory board for the Winnipesaukee River Basin Project. Then I invoice them and they reimburse the town. Their fiscal year ends June 30th, so Sharon wanted to know if the town and Eliza were still interested in doing this. She does a great job. I contacted Eliza, she said, sure, I'm still interested. And we've only spent, the contract was for $2,500, and we only spent to date, $516. So,
But they're reimbursing us, so
Oh, yeah.
there's no cost. I'm in favor of it.
so is that okay to continue that?
Everybody? Yes?
Yeah.
Sandy? Yes.
Okay, and I saved this one for last. Let me just make sure, because I know it'll generate a lot of discussion for Catherine.
You think?
Get all the little stuff out of the way. I scanned and sent you all the letter from the Transportation Commissioner.
Yes, I read that.
I didn't see it.
You didn't
I didn't
read
see
that
it.
yet?
No, I've been pretty busy today.
Well, while you're reading that, I can just give you a quick summary.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, yeah,
Wound up.
okay.
Before you start, before you start, can I just give a summary for the
Yeah.
camera? So people know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. This was
Where's the Necco wafers?
It's gonna take more than that.
Do you see why I held this to the end?
Why'd you even bring it up? Maybe you brought it up next week.
Well, let's bring it up next week.
Okay.
Oh, no, you opened the coffin.
Why, she can read it and we'll bring this up next week.
Yeah. How many?
That makes
Yeah,
better.
why
Let
don't
me
you,
just ask you, how many road projects do they want from us? How many?
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
I'm with Catherine.
I could have gone with that. Yeah.
okay,
Wait, there we go. We just condensed it.
all right, well, just
Yeah,
just
by the
quickly.
by.
Caliph Hill, at that one address where there was the dip, they can do that. They're planning to do that within their own budget, summer and fall of 2013.
Oh, generous.
The icing problem, because it's a betterment reconstruction of secondary roads program, that won't be until the summer of 2014. Clark Road,
And,
summer 2014?
yeah.
Oh, no,
why
that's,
They want us to take over.
no, not Caliph, not Caliph.
Not Caleb, no.
Okay.
There's two others there.
Well, right. Clark Road would be reconstructing all the way onto Colby and onto, through Caleb, onto Colby, where there were those problems on Colby. That they would want, it's two-thirds, one-third, the town make it Class 5, and then Winter Street, the whole length of Winter Street, to make it Class 5. But my suggestion is we should, report back to these people and let them know what the state came up with.
Right.
And I talked to Dennis about this, and he said he'd have no objection, is that do warrant articles at the 2014 town meeting and explain to these people, if you ever want to see your road reconstructed, this is your only option.
No, it is
don't
not
believe
our
that.
only option, no.
I don't believe
Wait a
that. It's
minute,
the
no.
state roads, and they have a
Wait,
duty to maintain
no.
them.
Before you go any further, Senator Forrester has read this, and she said to me just Monday that she will respond to that letter.
She will, okay.
Yes, so let's wait for her response as well.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
Is she gonna show it to us before she responds?
She's going to respond to us.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I do know that the State Department of Transportation's plans is that they want to get rid of as many of these secondary roads as they can. That's
They've
their
been trying
goal.
to do it for years.
Right.
They tried to do it with Silver Lake Road, but guess what? That's
Right.
still a Class 2 state aid road.
Right, but they budget money
Yeah.
to do this, and they're pushing to do this, that this is a good way for someone to get their road completely reconstructed, and then the town would take over the summer maintenance, winter and summer maintenance.
No.
How else are the roads ever going to be done?
How did Silver Lake Road get done? We didn't reclassify it.
Yeah, but look at how long it took to get them to come back down and do it.
No, it didn't take long.
How many years, yeah, how many years from start to finish did it take to do it?
3 years.
And the town still paid money.
We paid a one-third,
Right.
two-third project, but the fact
done.
is, it is still a state road. And the problem is making the state do their summer maintenance.
Do their job.
Right, but they're not
It's their
doing
job to
summer.
do, not
Yeah,
ours.
but we can't just turn our eyes on the fact that the state is unfunded, these are unfunded mandates. They're dumping their problems onto
On us.
us.
I know, so.
And we
right.
can't just sit back and take it.
They don't promise doing our
I
maintenance.
totally agree.
I
think we need a motion.
Hopefully,
We need a motion. Okay.
Yes.
We have to close this door.
I hope the microphone picks that up.
Everybody here, we need to make a motion, and I will so do, make a motion to request an advance of $350,000 from our TAN.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, makes it official.
And on with the show.
Tricia, you're all set?
I'm done.
You gotta do minutes.
No, we can do those next week.
No, we got
Sit here,
two
you want me
We
already.
have
to
two
go
sets.
back? Are we
We
done?
can do 3 sets next week, right?
Are you guys done with me? Do you want me to still sit
Supposed to
here while
draft.
you're going through your folder?
Posted draft. Catherine has something to say here. You want to cover it for a second? I got to go downstairs.
Police Detail Revolving Fund. I actually asked this a while ago. We're using this fund as a piggy bank, even though there's no money in it. It has a negative balance in it of over $21,000.
That's negative.
It's negative, because we're, like I said, we're using it as a piggy bank. We're anticipating funds, we're gambling. I don't gamble, especially with other people's monies. That fund needs to be closed. No monies can be, I don't know how monies can be
Extracted from it.
taken out of it when there's no monies in there in the first place anyway.
oh, I thought that was an account for, that the police could, they would put their monies from doing their different jobs out there, and that would, all the money would go in there, and then they would use it for...
But there's no monies in there.
How can
It's
they
a
do
negative balance.
A balance.
Well, the way it was explained to me yesterday...
Owes the general fund.
Yeah,
That
there's
fund
no
owes the
monies
general
in
fund.
there.
Well, how was it
Unless they
explained? I would
do-
like to hear that.
The way it was explained to me, and if Tim's still here, we can ask him to come up to explain it to you, because I don't know that I'll do it justice. But the fact that some of those monies that come in the form of grants. And the grants have to be deposited directly into our,
That's not so. This is the detail fund, when they go out and do
Right.
details. There's no
Yeah.
grants for details.
well, why don't I ask Tim to come up?
I'd like to hear this,
not-
because I don't understand how we could get 21 grand in the hole.
We
should
have
never get
grants
to
for,
zero.
we have grants out there for, what are the grants we have? That you do the DWI checks? You do the speed things,
Highway safety.
highway safety things, but those aren't,
I think the one that he did was the camera grant. That's
The what?
The cameras, the video cameras, that's what's in.
Laptop.
He's going to come up.
well, I know that's equipment,
Yeah, but-
and you can take equipment out of this, but that's not a detail.
No, but the equipment that he took out of there is grant funded.
Yes.
So
But
the-
it
So it will be
but it
reimbursed?
doesn't matter, there isn't money in there to take it out in anticipation of receiving a grant.
this, the grant money that covered the equipment that he took out of there has
borrow
to
your
go
pen
back
for a
into the
second?
general fund. It couldn't go back into
A
the,
pen. I
The
just need
point
to
is,
check
we
off
don't,
approved.
we shouldn't be taking monies out of a fund that doesn't have funds in it to take out of.
It gives
if
them
we're
someplace to
anticipating
put
it-
it.
We have,
Let's listen to
we have
Tim.
hundreds of line items to put it in. I've already had the conversation with Tim.
I haven't heard it, and I agree with you, Catherine. I agree with you. You can't take money out of a fund that doesn't have money in it.
Al, you're not signing this?
No, I'm not. Thank you.
That was the only one. Everything else is...
Well, and we have to get the chief to sign
Wasn't
that.
there monies taken out of there temporarily for some of the
It was
Well,
anticipating
yeah.
the grant being received for the cameras and equipment, but the cameras and equipment shouldn't have been taken out of here if there weren't any monies to take it out of here. Do you need to look at this while you're talking?
I recall.
So tell us why.
Well, when we were originally discussing cameras, and Since they were not budgeted, the discussion was where to charge them to. We didn't know how much grant money we were going to receive at that time. And, thank you. And I had made the suggestion of using the revolving fund, which in the past, we have used the revolving fund to charge things to, because there isn't an actual account. It's part of fund accounting, and it has owed the general fund that balance until such time the detail work catches up and creates, again, another surplus.
What if you don't have any more detail work? We cannot guarantee there will be detail work. We've had years where there's been tons of detail work and tons where it's been slim to none. There's no guarantees that somebody's going to call up and have detail work for the town of Tilton.
That's correct. We have had an average of about $100,000 a year in detail work over the last 5 years. Last year was higher than average, but at the time when we were charging these, we had to have some place to charge them to. As I said, that we're not budgeted, the laptops nor the video systems. So, and what you see here are the net amounts. And if you look at the warrant article which created it was for any type of police equipment. The difference is that when we have a deficit in one of our funds and it owes the general fund, it does eventually get repaid one way or the other. So, and we've had that in various funds at various times.
The money should have been taken out of the general fund, within the policeman's budget and the police department side. Whether we had to move funds around within that police department section of the selectmen's budget or not, but it should have been taken out of the general fund's money, in my opinion, not out of anticipated, maybe we'll get some details fund.
Well,
fine if we get the monies in there, and then we can transfer it into whatever line item we pillaged to pay for unexpected expenses. But I'm really opposed to taking monies out of a fund like this that we really don't have any guarantees.
I understand.
It's gambling.
I can tell you, though, that I did discuss it with the board when I suggested it, and then when the manifest came through with the check, the board signed off on it, so, to do it.
I didn't realize that it was going to leave this fund with a negative balance.
Nor did I.
Therein is my thing, too. I'm leery. I understand what you're saying, but...
It was worse before the grant money came in, so...
Oh, joy.
It was, at one point, it was $57,000 was the...
I'd like to make a motion that we no longer take monies from the revolving fund when there were no funds in it to be taken, if that makes sense.
Does that handcuff you in any way?
Not a me thing.
It's an us thing.
It's an accounting thing.
It's a Board of Selectmen's decision.
It's an accounting thing.
It's a Board of Selectmen's decision, where it comes from.
That's correct.
There are some options as to reclassifying some of this as well, so, you know, it is not set in stone. You know, at the time that the expense was made, we didn't know how much we were going to be receiving back. So, now that we know, you know, what our net cost was, you know, there are some things that, you know, time permitted, I think the chief would probably agree that there may be some things that could be charged elsewhere. You know, some portion of those video systems, that sort of thing.
Does this affect you negatively, in a negative way at all?
Well, not me, but what it's going to affect, what it is going to have an effect on is that we had, at the end of last year, we had planned on paying out of this fund. We had planned on paying part of a car, which we've done, and we had also planned on paying for Belknap Mountain Communications, the outfitting of that tower. And that was done, and we've paid one small bill so far, and we have, I think there's a $6,000 or so bill that is in process of getting its way here. So, barring that, we're going to have to figure out where to charge that. That was originally decided to be charged out of here. The things that were unplanned were the video systems and laptops, and the server and software.
I don't like the idea of taking money out of a fund that doesn't have money. I just don't, I'd rather do it, get it somewhere else and make the adjustments later on. Second,
Well,
It's a place to.
Yeah.
I understand, it's an
What it is.
accounting gimmick.
It should be taken out of the selectmen, the general fund, the selectmen's budget, the police department's budget, or whoever's department is doing this, but it's the police department's in this case. And then such time as money comes in, then the selectmen vote to put those monies in there. It's much more transparent that way. This way, it looks like we have our own little slush fund here that we can just
well, that was,
borrow money. I know it isn't the
Negative
intent,
balance.
but that's what it looks like.
But that's not what it was designed for, and that's not what it.
This isn't what it was designed for either. This was designed to store monies, and at such time as we had monies in there,
Yep.
we would expend them out.
But
It's not a piggy bank, an endless piggy bank. There's no monies in
It's
there.
not being treated really like that. It's just that.
Of course
he
it
put
is.
those things there because that's what they are.
well, and
We can-
the timing last year, we did go negative last year in this account, but it was a timing issue because we were expending the money for the car early in the year,
Yeah.
and we had, good assurance that over the course of that year, we would more than pay for it, which we did.
Right.
I mean, if you want to get technical, what you should do is, instead of ordering the things that we ordered at the time because of our decision, we should have waited until there was money in there to pay for it.
It should have been taken out of the police department's line items because it was an emergency and it was necessary to expend them. That's what we discussed and agreed upon. The monies is in that account. This is the first quarter of the year, January, February, March, or no, second, right? May. Second quarter. It's only the second quarter. This money's in there. That would have had time to build up. It would not have had to gone into a negative. It would have had time to build up, then transfer monies out.
It's all possible to be, any portion of it can be reclassified. It is the board's wish. So it's really, it was really the urgency of the situation at the time to get those things taken care of. Also, and then now that we know what the grant, the matching grant is, it makes it much clearer if you want to move those.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'm glad you were still here so you could explain that.
There's a motion on the table.
It has been seconded.
Oh, thank you.
What was the motion?
Stop doing that.
That we will expend no monies from a fund that doesn't have money in it.
Expenditures will not be classified to that account until such time as the
You have a positive.
positive
Yeah.
balance.
There's the motion.
Okay, then, second.
So just keep in mind that in doing so, I mean, it's really a pig in a python, so.
Yeah.
I think it looks much better that the selectmen don't create negative balances. That's what I think. I really was hoping that discussion didn't come up last night, and it didn't. But if it had, I was going to be embarrassed.
Well, it will show as over expenditures in line items.
Yeah, we
that
would-
they'll have
Yeah,
to
you
transfer.
still
I mean,
show
we would-
You're still
Well,
going to see a
the
negative.
bottom, our budget is a bottom line budget.
Correct.
We don't overexpend the bottom line budget.
And we have.
But this is an indication that we have, because there's no money in here. So why didn't those monies come out of where we actually had monies?
But we still haven't overexpended our budget.
No.
This isn't our budget. This is
part
a
of it.
reserve account.
Correct. I
This is a
understand.
reserve account. This is
A
not the
revolving
selectmen's
fund with no
budget.
money in it.
But I can
Right.
tell you quite easily that the equipment purchase fund in the police department would have been overexpended by about,
That one line item, but not the bottom line of the selectmen's budget.
no, that's correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's,
That's correct.
there you go.
So you'd rather overexpend 250% of an equipment purchase.
Yes.
For about
Yes.
400%.
Because there it is.
Then moving money around the
That's
way
right.
we've been doing it in the past, and that's
I
exactly what we've been
do
doing.
not shuffle the deck. I'd rather have it out there glaring overspent by 500%, have it right there and have people say, why did you do this, and explain it.
It is right there.
No, it isn't. This is not the selectmen's budget. This is a revolving
True, but
fund with no money in it.
every member of the budget committee receives that report every month.
And it was talked about
No, we don't
last
receive this
night.
every month.
Yes, they do.
We were busy this year.
It was talked
We were
about
very
last
busy this
I
year.
think we've made up our minds.
I
I
think
call
we've
the
beaten this to
question.
death.
Because we can yell about this for a long time.
Yeah, we
I call
can.
the question.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes.
Yes.
Nay.
Wow.
I'm gonna abstain.
Motion fails. All right, let's move on. Does anyone else have
Alrighty then.
any information that
I'm a
needs to
little
be brought
speechless.
forward in this
No,
meeting
that's democracy at work.
within the
I
time
guess.
frame that
It's
we
what it
have?
is.
Somebody else needs to be on the budget committee.
It was talked about last night, Kevin.
Let's move
Hey.
on. Let's just move on.
Wow.
Let's move on.
Hello?
Please, let's move on.
Does anyone else have any other business to come before us in a public meeting?
All sorts, but we'll move on.
I guess it's a wait.
There is one thing I would
Mel's
like
not
to
here
say.
just yet, so.
There is one short thing I would like to say. I went to a New Hampshire Listens meeting the other night at the high school, middle school up here in Laconia. It was facilitated by the Lakes Region Planning Commission, and the Granite State Futures, and it's to get input onto the master plan for the Lakes Region. I heard it reported in one of the local newspapers that there was some sort of tension, some sort of dissension amongst the people there. I was there. There was no dissension. There was an honest exchange of ideas, and not everybody agreed, but what this was designed to do was to get input, and they got lots of input. There was no yelling, screaming, and hollering. There was nothing like that. There was nothing but applause and support for everybody who spoke. And to imply otherwise, and I think, I read a story in the Laconia Sun that made it sound as though that this was somewhat of a free-for-all. And that there was all this back and forth, and I got a totally negative, there was no negative energy in that room. There had to be 125 people or something, and we met in small groups, and we discussed, it was facilitated. They did ask questions to keep us on topic. We had like 6 or 7 different things, unemployment, poverty, housing, transportation, and we all put in our ideas, and they wrote everything down, and moving forward, these things are going to be worked into this master plan. Now, the Granite State Futures, of which I've heard lots of really bad things, I don't get that at all. When, for 2 months, we had a box here in Tilton that I moved all around the town to get people to weigh in on this. What would you like to see in your area? Because money is funneled down here. What are we going to do with it? They tried to get people to say something. All of a sudden, they're yelling and screaming about this. Oh, New Hampshire Granite State Futures is some kind of communist plot. It's not. And I say communist plot, I'm thinking back to the 60s. Lord, I'm old. I think it's unfair, and there's going to be more of these, and every resident is welcome to come. These are not an invitation, select group only type situation. Anybody can go. Anybody. It was advertised and everything else, and yet I saw the same faces I see everywhere else. The same people participate in all of these things, and then somebody cries that they didn't have a chance to have input. Come on down. Look at the Lakes Region Planning Commission website and find out the time. Be there. Put in your input. Thank you very much.
Well, I got one
Pin
question.
drop. I just heard a pin drop.
I have one question. When we wrote the agreement for the store, in order for them to put up the berm and put up posts, they were also to put up signs on the posts to no parking, and there are no signs on the posts. But the
I'm sure he'll be glad to put
cross
them up.
horses are gone.
I was just looking at those today. They look good. Bright yellow, got
Horses
the
are.
the posts in there.
I'll give him a call. and
But there's
talk.
no signs on them,
No,
and that
there
was
are
part
not.
of the agreement.
There are not.
Okay. Catherine, you have anything else?
Well, do we have time for the littering ordinance?
Noel's not here to us yet.
Did everybody have an opportunity to look at the littering ordinance I emailed out?
Yes. you did an
Anybody have any
excellent
thank you.
Excellent job.
Yeah.
Everybody have any suggestions, any grammatical, any comments,
I thought
anything
you
need to be
did.
changed, added?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you an email with my suggestions in it, Catherine. I think that the form is comprehensive and very good. I have questions about the penalties for doing this, repeat offenders.
That comes from 147.
My understanding is our penalties can be no less stringent than the states, but we can set them at a higher amount if we do so want to.
The enabling legislation that allows us to even write the ordinance comes from 147, which is called the nuisance law. That's what its nickname is, and I have it right here, thank God. 147:1, the health officer or towns may make regulations for the prevention and removal of nuisances and such other regulations relating to the public health as in their judgment the health and safety of the people required, which shall take effect when approved by the selectmen, recorded by the town clerk, and published in some newspaper, printed in the town, or when copies thereof have been posted in numerous public places in the town. So that is what allows us to do that. And of course, the Board of Selectmen is the Board of Health in the town of Tilton. And in most towns, all towns, actually, unless they choose to appoint somebody else.
Right.
And the penalty, 147:18, for a nuisance infraction, which is what this is. Good Lord. 147:18. Any person violating provisions of RSA 147 shall be guilty of a violation.
Which one is that? What RSA is that?
147.
And the state sets the penalty amount for a violation in our town?
So is that the end of, when you just said in violation of, is that the end of 147? When you just read the last sentence there?
They're all over in here.
Well, I'll look at the accompanying legislation and I'll note my concerns.
And 147:9, for example, penalty. Any person neglecting or refusing to comply with the provisions of RSA 147:8 shall be guilty of a violation for each day of neglect or refusal after notice as provided in 147:4.
Okay.
And Chris is here. He can tell you that it,
What's the fine for that?
violation in the state of New Hampshire, up to $1,000, isn't it?
Putting you right on the
Putting you
spot.
on the spot, Chris.
Okay, well, now I've got something I can sink my teeth into, because if somebody goes down Pest House Road, throws out their own mattresses and all their MSW,
Cover the pink.
I want to know what it is that they're going to be penalized, because
147, she's got it right there.
if you can catch it.
He's got the R.
Yeah, but if we don't have if it's a $50 fine, that's cheaper than the
Right there.
transfer
This is
station.
going to be the new one. My question is, are we going to replace our old one, or is this?
We don't have one.
what is this, littering and, oh, this is trash collection.
That's the trash collecting, and it's referenced in,
But it says littering and trash
Yeah, I know.
collection.
it's referenced in here.
So we need to rename that one.
Well, we're going to have to next year at town meeting.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some changes to it. But it's referenced in here.
Right.
I think it's on page 2.
Yeah. So this would be in addition to what we already have, for now.
That's right, and
Okay.
our current one is listed on the back as applicable town ordinances in New Hampshire RSA's is our Tilton littering and trash ordinance.
Right.
Adopted 3/17.
Okay,
What's the maximum fine?
What's the fine?
Max is $1,000 for violation.
Who decides what the fine is? You do? You specifically?
So if somebody in Tilton did that, would that be the first offense? It wouldn't be up to 1,000, it could be up to 1,000, but normally it wouldn't be.
And subsequent offenses go up accordingly?
The max of violation would be is 1,000. So
They're guilty of a violation for each day of neglect or refusal.
who's enforcing the littering?
You folks.
Health officer.
Now, does this have to do with the new trash pickup?
No, nothing to do with it.
Nothing to
Just
do with
littering.
it. This is
littering.
This is just a littering ordinance that we're going to do.
Somebody dropping a cigarette on the ground?
Or say we go to an
Theory.
apartment building, and there's a ton of trash outside the building, and then neglecting to pick that trash up, that's consequently is littering.
It's an apartment building, yeah. So,
Property owner is responsible.
on an apartment building, we don't know whose trash it is.
Property owner is
The
responsible.
property owner is responsible.
Right.
Except for when it goes out on the sidewalk
Oh,
out
the
here.
property owners.
Property owner is responsible.
Right.
It's not their property, is it?
There
The
is a-
sidewalk.
There is a clause in here in the ordinance
The building.
that talks about.
But you won't know that. There was a pile of garbage sitting down here this morning. It had to be 25 bags. There's only 3 or 4 apartments in that building, so I gotta imagine that everybody brought their bags to one location.
Right.
But that guy with that building is still responsible for that pile of garbage?
In an apartment building, the landlord or owner
you know-
is responsible under 48A for the
But-
trash in that building.
Yes.
Now that you say that, though, Joe, our last meeting with the business owners downtown, they did say, would it help if we put trash in different locations and pulled it together? And I think maybe that might be happening if that's what you're seeing.
And that's kind
So
of gotta
therefore,
be,
how
I mean,
could
there was
we
way too
enforce it?
much. I was like,
Right.
wow, as I drove by.
So how could you enforce
Just
it
down
that
from the
way
corner,
if,
in
in
front of
fact,
the
that the business
Taekwondo
owners are
place,
getting
or karate
together and
joint,
saying, here's one
basically.
down here and here's one up here, so there's only a couple pickups in order not to tie up the traffic because we asked for a later time pickup?
At 8:30, it was sitting there this morning.
Right.
Well, now you're into the trash ordinance.
right.
All right, so let's move on. I just had a couple questions, and they've been answered. I'm
Now, the
good.
trash ordinance will come into play
Oh,
there.
so confusing.
Traffic littering is $300. So,
Traffic.
Throw a bottle out your window?
Or a
So,
piece of trash.
so if they throw out trash out of the window, it's $300.
I think it's 333 or 333.
If they let their dog defecate on the sidewalk?
Then they're in big trouble.
But that's,
That's a different
That's fine.
ordinance.
Yeah.
Different ordinance.
right.
I mean, I would probably, if somebody littered, I'd probably ask for 150.
Well, it would depend on the circumstance, wouldn't it? I mean, I have some that are in wetlands. I mean, I have one across the street that's just amazes me.
But if it is an ordinance, it does
Oh,
go
yeah.
back to the general.
Pardon?
If ordinances do go back to the general, that's
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Where's our, yes,
Thank you,
It
Chris.
goes to us, not the state.
No, it goes,
Maybe she backed out.
ordinances come back to here.
That's right.
Just kidding.
That's the only thing we take.
I'm not, I want to keep people from doing it. I'm not looking to make money. I just want them to stop.
That's right.
The only way to make them stop is to make them pay.
Right. It's like I have
Trust me.
three
We need a
cases.
garbage police.
We have one.
That's
Looking
what
for
I have.
another job, officer?
I have 3 situations
Get you
right
another
now
suit.
with trash and wetlands.
Right across the street from my house where it drains.
Not
right
his
down.
suits, we can't afford it.
It's horrid, horrid.
So,
If it wasn't so
GQ,
wet
yeah.
and mucky, I'd go and do it myself, just because it's in the wetland.
He's always dressed really nice.
so is this something we can adopt? Nobody has changes?
I don't have
would
any
adopt
changes.
it.
Do you have any
Any
changes?
changes?
We got no changes.
Not changes, I just was wondering about the
Oh,
the
me-
penalty phase.
So you want to adopt it now?
I'd like to adopt it.
Or make a motion?
Open it up. Oh, look right there.
I'll make a motion to adopt the Town of Tilton littering ordinance number 900. What it
Second
numbered
by
it?
Joe Jessica.
No, you're totally wrong. Catherine Dawson is making a motion now to adopt the litter ordinance. If
Oh,
you,
I thought Al just said he did.
Make the motion.
Oh,
right,
There's a process,
Catherine. is
no,
right.
it doesn't have to be a public hearing. We can.
I don't think, we don't need to.
We don't have to have a public hearing. And quite frankly, it would be great if we could get it adopted as soon as possible so I can go forward. But we need to post it in 2 more places in town.
all right, so you want to put it on the agenda
Did I
next
say
week?
anything? I don't know what's going
We'll
on.
post it and put it on the
Obviously.
agenda?
Yeah, if we
I
can.
don't even know
because
she's making it.
Catherine's making a
the
motion.
foliage grows, the harder it is for me.
I totally agree with you.
Okay.
If we can.
Are you, Catherine?
We don't have to have a public hearing.
We're
If you
still
wanna have
talking
a
about public hearings.
We can do it
Think we-
next week.
I don't think we need to.
Well, then let's just do it. Okay.
Just do it.
Then I made a motion.
Okay.
I made a motion to adopt the Town of Tilton littering ordinance, which is number 900.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. This is to accept the littering ordinance number 900. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Good job.
Go forth.
Go forth and clean up.
There's 3 of them. The one across the street is numbered garbage cans in the room.
Which is a beautiful thing. Yeah, Joe, the people that number their garbage cans, easy to find them out.
It's not my problem.
That's true.
And they're right across the street.
Crane? I don't know.
Hey, I just wanted to pick up their garbage.
But- You're one.
You post it in one place.
I can give her mine.
That's right, she'll put it into the paper.
I moved some things
Oh,
around.
that's right, okay.
And if I could talk to you about it tomorrow afternoon.
Do you know where they're at?
Unless you want to come to the house. I would love to come to your house though.
They're all coming down now.
It'll be a trip to Maine too.
Noel gonna be here.
This is a chocolate pile I see in front of Pat Constantino.
It's very
They must have been like
It is small, I'll give you that.
something.
Well, they're all out drinking. No, that'll come after. It's a joke.
No-show.
Yeah, I went in today and kind of greased the way, told them what we were looking for. Yeah, come on down, that kind of thing.
Good, all right.
Told them we'd be there about 1, so if you want to meet there just before 1.
I put it in my calendar.
Okay,
yeah.
as did I, so.
Got a text, he's home now.
Pardon?
Norm's home now.
I know, he went to the Vaughn Awards thing on Monday apparently in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He said he was going when I
Yeah,
went
he
to
did.
see
He
him.
actually looked good, but he,
For a guy that was death's door.
yeah, Janice texted me yesterday that he's home.
Right, put 'em down.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Oh, we are in recess,
just saying.
apparently.
We probably shut the camera off.
The meeting hasn't stopped. We're
Here we go.
gonna do this.
Wow, all right.
He's in uniform.
A little presumptuous, isn't it?
We need that camera on the flags.
I know, the whole thing was predicated on it was belonging to him. Yeah, okay. I can agree with that.
I'm glad. We don't have
Ready to sign. I was born ready.
We got the seal, so I don't think we need to seal, or do you?
Excuse me.
There you go.
I think that's a little,
Oh, did you know
my opinion.
that
I could tell it was her because it's her. That's awesome. Sandy.
she still has to defend herself and
Hasn't worked for me yet.
I don't know about, I don't know about the parents of kids, but I don't know.
You want to stand up here with us, Joe?
Hey, if you like, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad is.
Okay, I just
I didn't want to
If all the other selectmen are, then yes, but otherwise, no. I'm not gonna just be a random guy.
Oh, I know, but I would love to do that. I just wanted to say, I didn't take it that way.
I care what you used to be.
Oh, I know. And I don't ever want to seem like I'm rude. But I just Hannah
Needed to, and I was gonna tell you, like I just did before.
Sandy and Catherine, are you coming up?
Sandy?
Joe?
Yeah.
I will come up.
Great. Make sure Catherine's not hiding behind the flag over there.
Well, Joe's hiding behind Bob. Hard to imagine.
The camera could see
Can
it.
I pose you guys?
Oh my God.
Step over just a little bit. You right here. Okay. Like over her shoulder.
All right.
Joe.
Wow.
Headed to the hill.
This is bad with the two flags.
Take your hat off.
It has to be the
Okay.
flags.
Put your.
That's good.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I can see Catherine too. Because she's going to try to hide.
Well, she is gonna hide, so don't
Yeah,
worry
I
about
know.
it.
No, I can
Okay.
see her though. Okay, that's good.
To the inhabitants of the town of Tilton and the county of Belknap and the state of New Hampshire, whereas there is a vacancy in the position of full-time patrol officer in the town of Tilton, and whereas we, the subscribers, have confidence in your ability and integrity to perform the duties of said office, do hereby appoint you, Noel Morgan Glenn, to the position of full-time patrol officer for the town of Tilton, New Hampshire, which shall be effective as of May 6th, 2013. And whereas upon taking the oath of office and having this appointment and the certificate of said oath of office recorded by the Tilton Town Clerk, you shall have the powers, perform the duties, and be subject to the liability of such office until another person shall be chosen and qualified in your stead. Given unto these hands the 9th day of May in the year of the Lord 2013, and it is signed by the Board of Selectmen. So if you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Noel Morgan Glenn,
I, Noel Morgan Glenn,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent
all the duties incumbent
on me as a full-time patrol officer
on me as a full-time patrol officer
for the town of Tilton, New Hampshire,
for the town of Tilton, New Hampshire,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules and regulations
of the United States Constitution
of the United States Constitution
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
on the force again.
Yeah. So Noel's sister is going to do the pinning, right? April, okay.
Don't pin her, April.
You'll know if you do.
No payback.
No, it's Kevlar, don't worry about it.
That actually.
Dad, you can come over here if you want. It's a great picture from this angle.
It's an awesome picture. Come right around the bottom in the background.
We're so young.
She can adjust it later.
There you go.
Drummer, I know.
April was your last name for this one?
Luke and Bill, do you guys want to?
Well, but because they did ride around. We got officers out.
Sir, would you like to take over? Would you please? Thank you.
You want to come over?
What's going on?
Oh, not much.
We'll get the family.
You want to do just a family?
This makes our Facebook page.
One more.
Tilton. Yay, we win.
More specific.
Okay, now the chief wants that picture. Let's go, chief. Can you pass me my phone over there?
Get the handshaking there.
Congratulations.
Wait.
Come on up.
You're a superstar, one night on.
Jump in.
Suck it up.
It's not there, it's not there. But in this case, it is there.
It's all straight.
Well, it's kind of hard on that angle to get Luke because he's just all white.
Hey, April, can you take one?
You need sun.
We'll get the people that work for it.
There you go.
Oh, I heard that. You know, and if we never did get another.
What's going on?
I've been, but
Not bad, how are you? Officer Glenn.
Okay, so we have
to get details. If you want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't need them, but
Hannah, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. I'm good.
I like your hat.
Thank you very much.
One more for you to sign, too.
what's going on, girl?
Not much.
How's life treating you?
Good.
How's your finger doing?
Better fractured, but it's good.